Hey y'all, it's Stephen Van Kampen-Lewis, and it's here on Saturday actually. I was really hoping to post a video today, the day that I'm filming this video actually. The week prior I had said that I would have a Catasetum Desmond Dreisewerd open. Actually I would have two of them open, and that they would be open probably about today. I was a day off or two, but I just came out to water the plants, and I'm under the shade house. As you can see, it's kind of shady. But what's important is actually I have on one of my Desmond Dreiswerds forming a whole bunch of males, but with a bunch of females in the back. So I'm curious to see what they're going to look like when they open. They're still tightly closed. It'll be a day or two out before they open, but I want to show you the buds so you can have a really cool comparison, side-by-side comparison of what male and female buds look like. And it's not often that you get to see this. So I figured y'all would enjoy it. So let me get the camera turned around, I'll show you the buds, and then I'll come back in a couple days and film the actual flowers, and so you can see both all in one video. So here is the Desmond Dreisewerd with the female flowers in the back, and I'm saying flowers, they're buds of course, they're still closed. And then we have the males here up front. And it's just, like I said, it's a really cool comparison. And you don't get to see this type of thing very often, especially not with this many flowers on that. It's not a small plant. It's not a large plant either. So to have, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 male flowers and 5 female flowers is pretty impressive. I'm excited to see this. And of course, I will send a message instantly on Facebook over to Adam Dreisewerd to show him kind of the cool thing that his creation has created. This is from his breeding, and it's named after his son. And so of course, just to recap, Catasetums are sexually dimorphic, and then the male flowers, which are these ones here, are typically the more desirable ones, and then the female flowers back here are less desirable. These will be sort of green hooded things, maybe with the petals and sepals. It looks like we'll have some red on them, and then the male flowers here will be much more colorful. It's sort of the type of thing that you want to see when you have these. What's interesting is that these will only last. These will last probably less than a week, and then these will last maybe 3 or 4 weeks. So these will die off. Oh, you can see a little jerk face right here, and you're dead. Anyway, those guys punch holes in the flowers, so I do not want any of them around here. So this is super cool. Like I said, this is not something you see very often, not super common, and you can even see, in addition to the difference in the flower shape, you can see that the stem is very different. So as you can imagine, the female flowers, these are going to last close to a year, so their stem is very thick. Whereas the male flowers, these are only going to last, like I said, up to a week at the most, so their stems are very thin. So at the very least, even if you have the species where the male flowers are these sort of green hooded things, you can at the very least tell the difference between them by looking at the stems as they form. And same thing with the cycnices. And the cycnices, of course, tend to look very similar to each other, the male and the female flowers, at least some of them. The chlorocylon, varsavixii, in that whole group. I can't remember if that's cycnices group or eucycnices, but regardless, the stem thickness, more specifically, is a dead giveaway to tell you which type of flower you're getting. And so the plant itself, like I said, it's not a particularly huge plant. It's not small, but it's not big. It's obviously bloomed before, but it can get a lot bigger. So to have this kind of a bloom is really cool, and it's not often that this happens. A lot of folks say that light has an influence on the male and the female flowers, and that's probably true. There are also those folks that are absolutely swear up and down that light is the sole determining factor, and that is absolutely false. Light is one of the contributing factors of several that lead to male and female flowers. on Cycnices, excuse me, well, on Cycnices, on Catasetums as well. So this is interesting. You can kind of see, well, let's see if I can, you can see the sun is blasting down on me here, but it's in the shade cloth. This is the late afternoon. So this particular plant is getting very bright sunshine in the early morning. It gets shaded in the afternoon, most of the afternoon, and then in the late afternoon, this half of the spike is probably getting more sun than this here. So in this instance, I think that light played a significant role in determining the male flowers and the female flowers. So it's really cool. Of course, I can't prove that, but you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and that is an educated guess, let's say. And of course, I do have another one over here. Let me walk over. This is also Desmond Dreisewerd. Let me move this milkweed out of the way. And for those of you who grow milkweeds, you know that you probably grow them maybe for monarchs, but don't forget the queens. The queens look like monarchs and are just as cool, although they're not nearly as rare. Regardless, this is a pure male spike of Catasetum Desmond Dreisewerd. You can see it's much longer. It's not getting that second half of the day sun. The plant itself, this bulb is a little larger actually, but ultimately the plant's still about the same size. So this one gets much more shade. Well, it gets full 50% shade cloth all day long. So the fact that we have sort of one type of light all day long, and that's that 50% shade cloth, probably helped to influence the fact that these are only males and not males and females. So kind of cool to see, and let me check back here in a day or two and I will show you what the blooms look like as they open. Alright, it's like a week later, and I was absolutely certain that all of these would be open by now. But you can see only the females are open. Look at how big and cool looking those male buds are there at the end. I mean, the female flowers are really nice, actually. You know, most of the time we talk about female catasetums being green hooded creatures, but there's quite a bit of good color in this. And then, of course, the buds for the males look like they're going to be really cool looking in terms of color. So I'm excited to see this. Like I said, it's taking a little while longer than I thought, but you know, those male buds should crack open at any day and give us a super cool flush of blooms. I was kind of bummed that it wasn't open for judging last Sunday, but you know, man, how cool would those award photos, had it gotten awarded, how cool would those award photos have been with the male and the female flowers like that? I mean, it doesn't happen very often. So anyway, this is sort of, I guess, an intermediate update, and I will film again once everything's open, hopefully in a day or two. Alright, so it's like a week later, and these things still are not fully open. So I don't really know what's going on, why they're so slow, but I guess that might just be part of the uniqueness of this particular cross. So you can see that some of the older male flowers are open, and you can see that they're this sort of intense vinicolor red. So, you know, vinicolor is wine colored, and these are super nice, great shape, great color, but you can see that a lot of these are still not open. But what's even weirder, let me come over here, is that these female flowers have started falling off. So, you know, the female flowers usually last a month or more, and it has definitely not been a month. It's been, you know, maybe 10 days tops. So the male flowers open really slowly. The female flowers open way before and then died really quickly. So it's kind of a weird deal. I'm not entirely sure what happened. So you can see how it's all shriveled up. But what could have happened with the female flowers, so, and this confirms it, those aren't full female flowers. I don't know if you can see there, at the tip of my thumb there is some sort of pollen. It's not quite pollen because it's not yellow, but these flowers were hermaphrodites. So they look like females, they have pollen, so they last about the same amount of time as the males and not the females. And so I guess now I've just solved that mystery of why those quote-unquote female flowers folded up so quickly. But we can also see how really nice these male flowers are, at least with this one that's actually open. Well, it's sort of open, it's not entirely open. But that color is just amazing. I love the frill on the lip there. Like I said, the vinicolor really extends throughout the flower. It's got nice saturation. It's really nice. I'm excited to have this. Hopefully the next bloom will be a little more normal in terms of how long it takes to open, and the male and female or male and hermaphrodite flowers. Let's jump back to the other side. This is sort of the backlit side with the sun behind it. It's not quite as nice, I think, but it really shows some great qualities. So, kind of a weird one. The catasetums are just so weird. They do all kinds of bizarre things that trick you and make you wonder what the heck is going on with them. And this just happens to be yet another one where I thought I had females and males, and it turns out I actually only have males and hermaphrodites and a wasp in the background. Let's check out the other plant. Check out this caterpillar. This is not a monarch. This is actually a queen, which is a close relative of the monarch. Really mowing down some of my milkweed, but I grow the milkweed partially for the caterpillars and partially for myself because they're just so cool. But behind that, you can see, is this catasetum that is still not open, and it's just starting to open. So I like to post these videos on Saturday mornings. It is Friday evening. If this particular one opens up a little bit more in the morning, I'll film a little bit more and get you some photos. If not, I'll just post photos on my Instagram page. It should be cool though. I'm expecting really good things from this one. And it's a good sized plant, so it should bloom again this growing season, or this year at least, just like the other one. Anyway, I was hoping to have kind of more of a show for you, but I will talk to you next week.